Hi boys and girls, I am here to read Molly's Pilgrim by Barbara Cohen out loud to you. The PDF of the book is in Schoology as well so that you can refer back to it to complete some of the activities we're going to do for the next 2 days. All right, let's get started. I didn't like the school in Winter Hill. In Winter Hill, they laughed at me. Elizabeth laughed most of all. If you look at the background picture, you could probably pick out Elizabeth. I never raised my hand to answer a question, but when Miss Stickley called on me, I had to say something. My English wasn't perfect yet, so Elizabeth always giggled at whatever I said. Miss Stickley would stare at her and then she'd shut up. But later in the schoolyard, she'd say, "You talk funny, Molly. You look funny, Molly." And then she'd sing a song. "Jolly Molly, your eyes are awfully small. Jolly Molly, your nose is awfully tall." Hilda and Kitty would sing the song too, and sometimes even Fay and Emma. They all admired Elizabeth. She brought peppermint sticks to school and handed them out to all her friends at recess. So, do you think Elizabeth is a good friend? Do you think she has friends because she's a good friend or because she provides them with treats? That's something to think about. Would you want to be her friend? One day, Elizabeth and Hilda followed me halfway home singing that terrible song. "Jolly Molly, your eyes are awfully small. Jolly Molly, your nose is awfully tall." I started to run. When I got to our apartment, I burst into tears. It was all right. I could cry in front of my mother. She put her arms around me. I leaned my head against her chest. She felt like a big, soft cushion. "Shinkite, what's the matter?" she asked. My mother didn't speak much English. She talked to me in Yiddish. Now, Shinkite means my beauty or my beautiful one. "Mama, let's go back to New York City," I said. "In this third grade, there aren't any other Jewish children. I don't talk like the other girls. They make fun of me. I hate going to school." I'm proud of Molly for telling her mom what happened. "Oi, Makala," Mom said. "We can't go back to New York City. In New York, Papa had to work in a factory. We had to live in a poor tenement house." There's a picture of where they used to live. "Here in Winter Hill, Papa has a good job in Mr. Brodsky's store downstairs, and Mr. Brodsky even lets us live in this nice apartment." "Well, then let's go back to Gorduke," I suggested. "We only came to this country last winter. I bet we could still get our old house back." "If the Cossacks haven't burned it down," Mama snapped. "They burned the synagogue," which is like a church. "One day, who knows? They would have burned us. May they grow like onions with their heads in the ground." Okay, so they did have to leave their homeland because it wasn't safe to live there anymore. I had known all along we couldn't go back to Russia. "In Goroduk, Jewish girls don't get to go to school at all," Mama went on. "They have to grow up ignorant like donkeys. I'll go to your school. I'll talk to the teacher. She'll make those peskunyuks stop teasing you." And that word means nasty, rotten, or horrible person. "No, Mama, no," I interrupted quickly. "You don't have to do that." I didn't want Miss Stickley or Elizabeth to see Mama. She didn't talk like the other mothers. She hardly talked English at all. She didn't look like them either. "It'll be all right," I said. "I'll talk to Miss Stickley myself." But, of course, I didn't. I dragged myself back to that school day after day. Nothing changed, but I didn't say another word about it to Mama. That's so sad. I feel so bad for Molly. Then one day in November, during reading, Miss Stickley said, "Open your books to page 132. It was a new story. I liked it when we started a new story. "You begin, Molly," Miss Stickley said. I looked at the title. I shook my head. "Miss Stickley," I said, "I don't know that word." "It's a hard word, Molly," Miss Stickley said, "especially if you haven't seen it before. Who can tell Molly what that word is?" Several hands shot up. Miss Stickley called on Elizabeth. "Thanksgiving," she announced, tossing her long black corkscrew curls. "I thought everyone knew that." "Thanksgiving," I repeated. "Thanksgiving." "What's Thanksgiving?" Elizabeth snorted. "You don't even know about Thanksgiving. I guess you people don't celebrate American holidays." Miss Stickley ignored Elizabeth. "The story will explain the word, Molly," she said to me. "Go ahead, start reading." I read 3 sentences. I didn't stumble over any more words. Then Miss Stickley told Arthur to read. We took turns. It was a good story. It was about the Pilgrims and how they started the holiday of Thanksgiving. I had never heard of Pilgrims before. Now, children, Mrs. Stickley said when the reading lesson was over, I'm tired of decorating the room with paper turkeys and paper pumpkins every Thanksgiving. I thought it would be fun to do something different this year. She pointed to the sand table at the back of the room. It had stood empty since September. We'll make a model of the Pilgrim Village at Plymouth, Massachusetts, celebrating the first Thanksgiving. She sounded excited. We'll make the houses and the church here in school, but I want you to make the people at home. You can make dolls out of clothespins. The boys can make Indians and the girls can make pilgrims. Her eyes moved from one face to another. If you sit in row 1, 2, or 3, make a woman. If you sit in row 4, 5, or 6, make a man. I sat in row 2. I had to make a pilgrim woman. Bring your dolls tomorrow, Miss Stickley said. Then I'll show you how to make houses out of cardboard. Okay, for right now, I want you to stop the reading. I want you to pause it, and I want you to go into your Schoology folder, and you're going to do an activity. You're going to draw a picture of what kind of pilgrim Miss Stickley is talking about. Like, I want you to use your imagination. Like, what picture have you made in your head about the type of pilgrim Miss Stickley is talking about? And then you're going to answer a question. Okay, so I want you to pause right here and do the activity and then come back to the story.